Hey guys, it is October and that means I am getting inky. Maybe you've been following my little artist art challenge over on Instagram or over on the community tab, but that is not the only way I'm getting inky. I wanted to try out some new inking supplies this year. So I've already talked about the Kakimori brass nib. It's an exciting nib that holds a lot of ink. I have talked about the Colorverse shuttle nib. Also, a very exciting nib that holds a lot of ink. You can check out those videos. I will link them in the cards and in the description. Today, we are talking about Sailor's Hocoro pins, and we're going to be trying them out with the Kakimori Toto ink, as well as the Colorverse Achaphalaya and Aurora Borealis ink. So this is a pigment-based ink for fountain pens, and these are like dye-based inks for fountain pens. So you guys who watch the channel, who have hung out with me for a long time, you guys might remember when I went to NAMTA, which is the International Art Materials Trade Association, and I got to see these pins at a couple of different booths, including, I believe it was the Itoya booth. And what these are, is these are actually very simple. They are, if you like how fountain pens write, for example, if you like fountain pen nibs, if you want to test out your fountain pen ink, but you don't want to ink up an entire pen, these are a dip pen version with a fountain pen nib that will allow you to do just that. So maybe you just want to write a little bit and you want to use a special color. Maybe you want to add an accent. Maybe you want to add a highlight and you don't want to ink up an entire pen with a color to have to then clean it. This is an easier way to do that. So I have two of the Hocoro pins. These were purchased on Blick. I bought one in medium and one in fine, and it's actually really hard right now for me to tell which is which. I think this is fine. I think this one is medium. They were on back order, and pretty much all of their material is written in Japanese. And unfortunately, I do not speak Japanese, but they have their nib just tucked in like this. And then when you're finished writing, you can uncap it and put it back in after you've cleaned it. So my goal today is to ink these up, demonstrate them, and talk about them with you guys. So I think these are more for fountain pen enthusiasts who want a fountain pen experience to test out their different inks, or for artists who enjoy using fountain pen inks and they might just want to use a little bit. Or maybe they like fountain pen inks and fountain pen nibs, but they would prefer a dip pen style experience. So these were purchased on Blick. I paid this much for them. One of them was on back order, so I kind of waited until they both came in. Everything is pretty much written in Japanese, although it does kind of give you an idea of the types of marks they're capable of making. So this would be probably fine, and this is probably medium. There is no cartridge in these, and the tip has no way of, well, you could probably fudge it maybe. Let's find out. Maybe, okay. You really probably should not fill this with ink. It's not gonna work that well, but I know some of you guys are super clever and could probably figure out a system to make it work. So, you know, if you do, I'm curious. But Sailor does make fountain pens and some of them are pretty affordable. So I don't know why you would do it. I do clean all of my pins and nibs before first use. I'm gonna use a little rubbing alcohol to do that, and that'll just remove any like oils that were on there from the factory. So although the packaging didn't make it clear, the nibs themselves actually do. So it says fine right beneath the Sailor logo on the blue, and then on the baby blue, it says medium. Both pens have a little breather vent in the shape of a heart. They're very cute, and they both have a rounded tip. So hopefully they won't scratch too much when drawing or inking. So I've mentioned before, I'm not a fountain pen person in kind of the writing sort of sense. I'm not a Tomoe paper kind of gal. I don't use a Hobonichi. I am a comic artist and an illustrator, and that is my interest in fountain pens, but I did want to test these out for writing. So I figured, why not with some cards? So these are my Christmas card designs. I painted them myself. They were printed through Cat Print, and you can find them in my shop at nattosoup.com/shop. They're all pretty Louisiana themed, except for the rat themed one, which is super cute. So I thought, even though it's not Christmas yet, we are kind of getting up there, I would actually try writing in one of these. So it's printed by Cat Print. It is on their really nice textured felt paper, so it is a heavier weight paper. So it may kind of catch with the pins. We will try these out on, you know, some other stuff, but I figured this was kind of like a perfect place to get testing, since again, I'm not like a fountain pen paper kind of person, and I actually really don't like, on a personal level, those papers. I don't like how they handle. I think they're kind of thin. They're just not for me. So I figured testing on something that I like might give you guys some additional input. So I want to start with the fine tip. I am going to start with the Kakimori Toto ink. Now this might be, it's actually a little hard to tell how deep to dip it. Oh, it feathers. And that's not a good thing. Yeah, that is not great, although it does hold like a pretty good amount of ink. I'm sure if I shook it, it would go all over the place. But since there's no cartridge, it actually holds a pretty decent fill. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that for now, mostly because I don't want it drying on there, and wipe it off. And I will try the medium next. Same ink, same paper. So you can see it does hold a lot of ink. It actually wobbles quite a bit. It's a little bit disappointing that my own cards don't take fountain pen particularly well, but you know, the more you know. I do find that they take ballpoint pen and fine liner very well. You can't win them all. So that was the Toto ink in my adorable rat card. Next, I am going to try the Colorverse Achafalaya ink. So this is a water-based ink for fountain pens. And you guys might remember this from the Colorverse shuttle pin video. So I'm just gonna do a dip. It still feathers out quite a bit on this paper. Not Kakimori, Colorverse. So, my handwriting is atrocious because I just spent the last 3 hours very hurriedly handwriting notes for a class that I'm in. So my hands are already pretty tired out and stressed out since it is definitely the end of the day. So I don't really want to hear about my handwriting because I know my handwriting is really bad. Also, these are not the most comfortable pins to use. The curve is nice, but I've gotten very used to having to use comfort grips due to my arthritis issues. You could probably put one of those grips on this thing though. You just have to, it kind of bells out and then narrows in. So you would just have to get it past the widest point. And it feels like the water-based fountain pen ink gets used up much quicker. You guys can definitely see how much that kind of spiders out on that paper. Honestly, these are probably going to be kind of frustrating on anything but like a plate Bristol. So I think that's what I'm going to go grab is a plate Bristol. A plate Bristol, and then also fountain pen papers that have a tighter weave, that have a smoother finish. So when I say a plate Bristol, I really mean in terms of like art papers. So I have a scrap of, actually, this is not smooth Bristol. This is just Canson's recycled Bristol. And then I believe this is actually vellum Bristol and has a leaf design that I printed on it from one of my inking classes. So I am going to play around with these and we'll see if it's any different. I'll go ahead and use Aurora Borealis. And we'll start with the fine. So the appeal to this is you already like sailor pens, you already like sailor nibs, and you just want a vehicle to like test out a bunch of different inks, or maybe you want to switch colors or color coordinate as you're writing. So this would allow you to do that. The fine is a lot too fine for me in terms of writing. I'm usually more of a medium kind of gal. I think it has some good flex to it, but it's a little bit scratchy for me, at least on this paper. Very easy to clean though. Like, I think that is the number one like selling point to this, is you can dip it in water and use a paper towel and you've basically cleaned the ink out. You don't have to clean out a cartridge. You don't have to soak anything. It's pretty straightforward. And then when you're done and it's cleaned, you can just take it out of the thing and put it back in. So this is the medium nib. It's a little bit smoother. This would generally be my preference. But this is wobbly. I should have reset this. So, not a super long draw. You're not going to get a lot of writing time with it. But again, I think it's really just a, oh, it's in there. This nib is just kind of wobbly, but it's already in there. Okay. All right, good to know. So I think it's really just ideal for testing out colors and how they might write, rather than for like replacing your fountain pen or anything like that. Now I want to ink this leaf. I am going to do it primarily with the medium because my hand is killing me. Actually, that's the fine. This is the medium, using the Toto pigment ink. And I think this is on a vellum Bristol. One thing though I noticed is that even on this, this Bristol, I didn't have problems with feathering or bleeding. So this paper is a better choice for fountain pens, or at least the sailor fountain pens, than my own Christmas cards are, alack and alas. Probably just due to texture issues. So I think the Sailor Hocoro fits a very specific use point. First of all, it's pretty inexpensive, so that definitely makes it easier to justify trying it out. But if you're not somebody who already likes sailor nibs, or you're not into fountain pen or dip pen inks and you're looking for an easy way to try them out, I can't really say that it solves a problem that actually exists. Dip pens and dip pen nibs exist. They are fairly affordable. You can find them at most places. So if you're just looking for an easy way to kind of try out your different fountain pen inks without inking up an entire pen, dip pens already exist. You can find them at Blick. You can find them at Michael's. You might even still be able to find them at Walmart. There was a time where you used to be able to buy Speedball at Walmart, but those days may just be gone. So if you're just looking for an easy way to swatch your fountain pen inks, that already exists. It isn't more comfortable than dip pens, but it does utilize a fountain pen nib. Now, that said, Kakimori also sells fountain pen nibs for their nib holder that I believe works with the brass nib that I talked about, but the whole Kakimori system is kind of price prohibitive. So, oh, and another thought is like, you might be able to just dip your fountain pen into the ink and try it like that. I haven't tried it, but you know, or if you don't mind sacrificing a pen, you can do a converter with like a platinum. I believe it used to be platinum preppies. I used to do a bunch of fountain pen converters so that they're not using the ink that comes with them, but that you can do a full fill with the ink of your choice. So what I guess I'm saying is there are options, but I do think that if you like to switch your ink like very, very frequently, you want to grab just one or two colors for emphasis, like you're writing a letter and you want certain words to be in a different color, or you want to use it as a highlighter. That could be a good use case for it. I can also see it being fun if you are an artist who already likes drawing with fountain pens, but you want to change your colors out frequently to do like a colored line art. This could also be a really good use case for that, and that might be something I try in the future if you guys are interested, because I do have a lot of fountain pen inks and I really ought to be using them. So I hope you guys found this helpful, useful, and informative. When I found out about the Sailor Hocoro at NAMTA, I was really, really excited about it. I thought it would be a lot of fun, and it didn't quite live up to what I built it up to in my head. It just doesn't hold a whole lot of ink, which, duh, Becca, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be kind of like a tester, but also it's not like, to my knowledge, you can take the, sorry, my hands are killing me today. Oh, it does pick up schmutz and dirt too. So you do want to clean it out pretty thoroughly before you put it away. Now in Japan, they might sell packs where you're buying one holder and then you get a bunch of different nibs, and that could be fun, especially if they did some more unusual nibs like calligraphy nibs, super flexy nibs, or even fude nibs. But as it is, these are just kind of like their standard writing nibs. Another part of the problem is Sailor is still not super widely available in terms of fountain pens here in the US, or at least where I live, they're not. Maybe if you're in like California, they are more so, but it would be cool if, you know, you could get one holder and like a pack of unusual nibs to kind of try out different nibs to see if you even like them before you invest in a more expensive Sailor fountain pen. Or if the nibs in these little holders, you could pop them out and put like your other fountain pen nibs in there, because sometimes they will correlate, but honestly, I'm not even sure. You guys let me know, my fountain pen friends who have like a bunch of Sailor fountain pens, let me know if these nibs even look like, if you could get it free, if they would work in a Sailor fountain pen, because they kind of look like they're specialized to this. But you know, I was hoping that I would have more exciting news about this, especially because I did really enjoy the Kakimori brass nib. I thought that was a lot of fun, and this just doesn't, even if they just popped like a cage, put a spring on this thing like you see with cage nibs, just so it could hold a little more ink. But again, that's me looking to solve a problem that this is not supposed to solve. This is me coming at it from an inker rather than coming at it from a writing point of view. So I hope you found today's review to be helpful, useful, and informative. To me, this is kind of a FOMO item where I think I had a fear of missing out with it, and now that I have it, I'm like, that's cool. I'm not going to use it as often as I thought I would. So hopefully today's video helps scratch that FOMO itch. You are probably not missing out unless you are a big fountain pen enthusiast. And if you are a big fountain pen enthusiast, let me know down in the comments how you would use the Sailor Hocoro. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And I wish you guys the best of inkings. May your hand never cramp or lock up. May you always do your hand health stretches, and may you find the perfect grips to make your pencils and pens super comfy. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.